I want to jump to this story we got from Timcast.com. Biden pardons federal convictions for low-level marijuana possession. Today, we begin to right these wrongs, Biden said. The pardon also applies to lawful permanent residents who have been charged with simple possession, as well as individuals who have been charged but not yet stood trial. Quote, as I've said before, no one should be in jail just for using or possessing marijuana. Today, I'm taking steps to end our failed approach. Allow me to lay them out. Okay. I agree with this. I said Trump should have done the same thing. I don't like Joe Biden, and this earns no brownie points as far as I'm concerned, because I think this is just pandering. But I still, look, respect where credit where credit is due. I think they should have been doing this a long time ago. I think Donald Trump should have done it. I don't trust Biden to actually do anything. I don't think Democrats are actually going to, take marijuana off Schedule 1. But what do you guys think?
Do we know how many people this represents? I mean, are we talking about thousands, millions?
I think it's thousands.
I have seen that at the federal level right now, there are 0. That's what I heard.
0?
I didn't check it out. For this minor thing that they're classing it under, what is this, simple possession, there's no one. Which would be really interesting. I did see a meme earlier today.
So this could just be a publicity stunt then?
Yeah, sure could be.
I mean,
I saw a meme earlier today about Kamala Harris looking through the blinds very sadly as Joe Biden releases all the people she was so carefully putting in jail for marijuana possession. Poor Kamala.
I kind of
Poor Kamala.
I know, poor Kamala.
I like the way this sounds, though I haven't looked into it yet. It's similar to that AI Bill of Rights that they proposed a few days ago. I think that even an incompetent government can get stuff right. And, no one's pure evil or pure good. So in a way, I mean, definitely we should make marijuana not Schedule 1 narcotic. Completely insane. It's a plant. It's like an herb.
Yeah.
Just don't overuse the thing. It's a freaking drug. It's potent,
Yeah, the war on drugs is a farce that just abuses people that have substance abuse problems that are never dealt with and only made worse. And people are made harder criminals and bigger criminals just by going into our penitentiary system. So I think they're reaching in a bag. They're like, holy cow, we screwed these people over really bad. We robbed them of all their money. We robbed them of energy. We robbed them of any kind of potential. Let's just give them a little crumb here, and let's hope that affects the upcoming elections, because I think they are desperate. I think the war on drugs, just like the war on terror, is just manufactured to control populations. It's good to see a portion of it stop, but will this actually have real effect? Again, I'm skeptical.
Yeah, he's saying that he's calling on the Attorney General to initiate a process of reviewing how marijuana is scheduled under federal law because it's considered more serious than fentanyl, which is just insane.
That's so crazy.
Yep. Why didn't Trump do it, though?
Good question.
Bunch of size and
I guess. Why?
I don't know. Bad
Did he
advice.
say he was going to do it before he got
the split between the traditional conservatives who do vote for him and the MAGA types who are more libertarian.
He thought he wouldn't get reelected.
I think it would have potentially split his base and been harmful to him politically.
He might not have won if he didn't do it. He didn't.
I don't think it would have been harmful to him at all. I think there would have been some people who would have been like, I don't think it's right to do, but there's no way I'm voting for Biden.
Let the states decide. Jeez.
Like, do you think any Trump supporter is going to vote for Joe Biden for doing this?
No.
No, he's got to earn my respect in many, many ways, more than one or two moves. The student loan thing, for instance, all of a sudden he went back on it. They were going to give $10,000 to everyone that has a loan. And then it turns out, not if you have a private loan, only if you had government loans only. Sorry. And there's so many people with private loans that aren't getting them.
Oh, they're going to walk the whole thing back.
Of course.
Yeah. It's going to be like the day before the election. It's going to be like, oh, yeah, about that. But like crumple it up and throw it in the garbage.
There was no public, and I didn't see like a public press conference about not doing it. They just quietly were like,
that's what all this stuff is. He's just throwing stuff against the wall. He's going to keep doing that until election day.
It's because he can't do it anyway.
He's got nothing else.
This is why we have this weird pseudo war, with Russia, because they're not allowed to do it. Joe Biden doesn't have the authority to forgive student loans. So naturally, within a month or a few months, they're like, oh yeah, he's not actually doing that. Like, imagine if Joe Biden came out and was like, I'm going to give everybody who votes for me $1,000. He can't. So it's like he's lying. People believe it. Mm-hmm. I guess that's government, though, right?
What else is new?
Half the time, at least.
I'm
Half.
reading.
That's generous.
Yeah,
it's a lot of like projections about what they're
half
going
the time.
to do.
Ian, are you kidding me? I just finally.
Yeah.
They'll be like, what? They'll say like, we're going to fill in the blank, and like, you didn't do it yet. Wait, do it, and then tell me you did it. Then that at least isn't a lie.
Well, it's like Lydia was saying, there might not even be a single person who this falls under.
I just pulled it up. I don't know if this is correct, but I'm hearing that 99% of federal drug offenders are sentenced for trafficking I haven't fact checked this, so someone could fact check this, and that only 92 people were sentenced for marijuana possession in the federal system in 2017 out of nearly 20,000 drug convictions. So
yeah, it's like if Joe Biden came out and was like, all those children who are negatively impacted by the alien invasion will receive $1 million from the government. You're like, okay, but that's zero. It's like, hey, we're helping kids.
Hey, man,
Right.
we kept that promise.
Because people will hear this. This is brilliant, man. In terms of manipulating people, this is just so good. Announcing that you're going to be partying a tiny, tiny group of people, but then saying there are thousands of people who were previously convicted. Convincing people that you actually did a thing when there's no one that's for the most part being affected. Now look, to those 92 people in 2017 or whatever, I'm sure there was 100 in 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we're looking at maybe, several hundred people. I'm sure their lives will be improved by this.
Hell yeah.
But he's not doing what I suggested Trump do, which was basically pardon anybody for any crime relating to any nonviolent crime who didn't plead down. So that means if they had like large possession or trafficking, I don't care.
Yeah, trafficking for references when you have 25 kilograms or more or 300 or more plants of marijuana.
Here's what you do. Everybody who's been convicted for that, if they didn't plead down from a violent offense, they should have to go through a mandatory licensing process and then be released. That's it.
Yeah.
You were trafficking all of this agricultural product without a permit. So it's a $50 fine. Get your permit. Have a nice day.
Get rid of the permitting system right away. I'm disgusted by that sound.
I'm just saying, the appropriate thing to do is
let people be, though. And if they're not hurting anyone, if they're just deciding to smoke something or put something in their body, it's their choice and their decision, even though they should be informed, though, that there are extremely negative consequences that we're not being told when it comes to marijuana, and marijuana is becoming more potent, is becoming more dangerous, and does have negative effects on some human beings. So people need to understand there's dangers in doing this, but at the same time, the government coming in and throwing you in jail for doing this is not going to solve the problem.
I had some old hippies talking to me about how pot today is nothing like it was in the 70s. Like in the 70s, it was weak. And they were like, yeah, so you'd smoke. And it was like, now it's just like, boom, this very powerful stuff. So maybe, we got to be careful about all drugs. But, look, man, my attitude is if you want to go into your closet and, smoke, inject, I don't know, whatever, as long as you're not hurting other people, I actually think that regulation is the best way towards helping people, ending the violence. By pushing it into the black market, you only created a space for this. So the appropriate thing to do, in my opinion, is legalize with restrictions. Yeah. If people are addicted to opiates, give them a space where you can go and help them and make sure they don't die from it.
Yeah.
Instead, they tell you, well, you might as well go hide in a basement. And then when you OD, too bad, no one's going to call for help because they're scared to go. They're scared to go to
when
jail.
You can't get your prescription filled, you'll go down to Skid Row to find somebody with fentanyl. When they run out of their OxyContin or whatever, they look for something else because they don't. Yeah, man. But the thing about weed is it is legal. It is legal. I'm like, what am I? Okay, let's go with it. No, it's addictive, and mildly, I think physically, definitely psychologically addictive. And giving it to kids is messed up. I used to know kids in high school that I never smoked until I was 23, but like in high school, they were just slow and dull and like bored with school, and like maybe they were slow and dull and bored with school anyway, but they would be more slow and more dull when they would come into work smelling like pot. And weren't mean or anything. We're just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it should be just like alcohol, and marijuana does have some medicinal properties, but at the same time, there's also other forms of marijuana that will absolutely knock you on your butt and have very severe negative consequences, especially if you're a child, as it rewires your brain and predominantly does make a lot of people lazy. Some people it actually makes them energized. Some people it actually gives them inspiration. Some people it helps. Some people it hurts. Just like anything in life.
Lazy. When I went to Colorado, I partook for the first time. I remember having this thought like, holy cow, this is kind of dangerous for me because right now I feel like I would be completely happy never accomplishing anything ever again.
Yeah.
Everything's good right now.
It's a big part of the Transhumanist Agenda is putting you in the metaverse on psychedelics.
They just want you sitting down.
Yeah, I'm surprised the government's not giving out free weed at this point. I see them doing this a couple of years from now, being like, yes, get high. Just totally forget about everything. Just go on the couch and sit there. Don't worry about anything. There's a nice pod next to that couch that we're also going to give you.
Next it'll be, what was Children of Men? Remember that movie when they were handing out suicide kits to everybody in these little boxes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they're gonna try and create some kind of patentable derivative that they can control the price on.
Oh, yeah.
Then they're gonna say everybody needs this because it de-stresses, and then they're gonna say the government should pay for it. Everybody gets taxed without realizing it. And then they're paying for the $1,000 pills.
It's Marinol. It's called Marinol. And
Yes.
its international non-proprietary name is dronabinol, also known as Delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol. I guess they've pharmaceuticalized it.
Yes.
Marinol,
There you go.
Syndros, Reduvo, and Adversa. Adversa?
Whatever you do,
That's great. Yeah.
whatever you do,
Sounds
do not
great.
smoke.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
Whatever you do not smoke the government weed.
Yeah,
Do not
don't
take
do
the
it.
soma. Whatever you do.
Cheap and free, Luke.
Don't eat the bugs.
It's going to be
don't
insurance
smoke
is
the
going to
weed.
cover it.
What was that movie? Children of Men.
Children of Men. Yeah.
We're closely
heading there.
approaching that future, and that's
Oh,
terrifying.
Canada's
If you
already doing
haven't
it.
watched that movie, it's soon to be a documentary.
Didn't you see the videos out of Canada where the guy's like, he calls the hotline and they're like, if you need help dying, let us know.
Oh yeah. They were like pushing people to that.
Yeah.
Well, and we're almost seeing that a little bit in the States too, with insurance companies that will, they won't cover your surgery or your treatment, but they will cover, your what do you call it? Your death with dignity. We'll give you painkillers until you die. There's kind of that movement. Just scoop people along. Let's move it along here.
Wow.
And yeah, you see it. You want
Futurama called it.
to know where we're headed in 10, 15 years. Look at Canada. Look at Europe.
Yeah.
That's where we're headed.
I
If
think
we
we
stop
need
it.
ethics oversight over pharmaceutical companies and insurance companies.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's got to be like governmental ethics. That's a big part of our government is ethics. That's the dudes that wrote the U.S. Constitution were ethicists. They understood religious and moral ethics, and that's why there were so many of them. They didn't agree on the logics and the literals all the time, but they got like the ethics for the most part. The slavery thing was still debatable at the time.
So I feel like the founding fathers really understood human nature, which is probably what made them strong ethicists. And I think you're correct. I think the problem now is that I don't think government ethics is ethical. I don't think it's ever a good idea for a government ethics board to oversee something like the pharmaceutical company. I think they're too tightly combined. I think it needs to be an independent outside organization. I have seen Marinol used. It was used to stimulate appetite for an older lady who was really struggling to eat. So it does have like good purposes, but it's not. I'm from Colorado, so I've seen what marijuana does to people. And people used to tell me all the time, oh, it can cure anything. It cures cancer. What are you talking about? You're just being a downer. I was like, I have seen it change people. And I've had people tell me, I wish I'd never started marijuana, or I wish I hadn't started as young as I did. It changed my overall life experience. Hugely negative. But that said, it should not be illegal.
I could say I missed a lot of opportunities because I was stoned, but that's blaming the weed. It was my own fault. Like I had to
It could
make
have
the
been
final
anything.
decision.
Yeah.
I could have went
video games. It could have been alcohol.
yeah.
Human beings find something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was me. I made the choice not to go do the things that I feel like I missed out on. It wasn't, and I blamed the weed for years and stressed my family out about it. And then they started freaking out about weed. It wasn't the weed. It was me. It was my own personal lazy choice. So
You got to make sure that whatever's giving you that dopamine hit, it's a positive thing with the future. I think South Park said it well when it's like they're talking to the kids about their future selves. Like they hire this company that sends in fake versions of them from the future who are like, hey guys, started smoking weed and then I became a loser. And then finally at the end, Randy's like, son, there's nothing really bad about smoking pot other than it makes you okay with being bored. And then when you're older, you'll find that you're not good at anything. Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.